Yeah. Welcome to the open book, where truth don't hide, stories ride, and every chapter got that power. Turn the page, now you stepping in, where real ones talk and the fake pretend. From viral heat to deep convo, we write the truth, let the whole world know. This ain't just a channel, it's a movement. The open book, every story, every voice.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to the open book. This is your host, Lakeisha. I hope everyone is having a terrific Tuesday. Okay. Y'all forgive me. My allergies were bothering me this morning, but I'm going to push on through. I've taken some medicine, so I'll probably get better in another hour. But welcome. Make sure y'all tap that like button and let everyone know that we are live. Also, if you would like to support the channel, you're welcome to buy a coffee. That link is pinned at the top of the screen. You're welcome to send a super sticker, super chat, or a cash app, which is scrolling on the screen. Also, this live is for educational entertainment purposes only and is covered under the Fair Use Act. Information shared is alleged in our opinions as we react to various topics and people. Okay, let's see who we have here so far. Good morning, Janet. Lifestyles for Janet is in the building. Thank you so much for joining, sis, and for being first in the building. Shout out to Dreamy Girl. Good morning, sis. Thank you so much for that. And thank you for joining today. Hi, Cherry. Good morning. Thank you for joining, sis. Okay, y'all. So make sure you hit the like. Let everyone know we are live. I know it's early, but I was like, look, my topics are getting stacked up. Okay. I took kind of a break yesterday and I said, oh my gosh, it's so much to talk about. As y'all notice, I've been kind of still sharing the shorts. So make sure you look at the shorts and see all of the things, the good news that's been happening. It seems like everybody's getting married right now. Okay. We got Devon Franklin just got married to his fiance. That's Megan Good's ex-husband. Okay. Then we have Monica, the singer that just got married to Aunt Wilson. And they have, both couples have some gorgeous pictures. So if y'all haven't seen those updates, make sure you look at that. It's just so much happening, so much in the entertainment world, so much on the social media streets. And then I wake up to this breaking news in regards to the Diddy update. Okay. I was going to go live about this the other day, part of this with Gina, one of Diddy's ex-girlfriends. Now, I don't know if they're still together or not. You know, he's in jail, so I don't know how much together you can be with anybody. But y'all, it seems as though recently she's been in the news. So we're going to talk about Gina first and the clown behavior that she just exhibited recently. Okay, good morning, love me. Hey, Kay Brown, welcome, ladies. And then we're going to get into the recent update with Al B. Sure. Now, many of you may have known or not that Al B. Sure was supposed to testify in the Diddy trial. Okay. Now, I know the prosecutors, they cut down the list. I don't know why. Hi, Zara. Thank you so much. I don't know why they cut down on so many, because they could have really cut out some of the parts we heard. We had heard enough about the freak offs. They should have brought in some more of this stuff. Okay. Bring in some Al B. Sure. And so we're going to look at some new updates in an email, y'all, that has resurfaced that was pretty much stating that the media, 27 media outlets, were being paid allegedly to suppress any details, any stories about Kim Porter's death. Okay. Now, at first, it was just, Al just telling what was going on. But baby, he has come upon this leaked information, and Rolling Stone actually leaked it. I don't know how, like TMZ's, the Rolling Stones, and all of that, how are they getting access to some of this information? Okay, because some stuff is very shady, and y'all trying to hide it, but then at the same time, y'all find it at opportune times. It's released to the public when it's convenient. Okay, and so I was like, but it supports the allegations that have been made by Al B. Sure. Okay, so let's go into first the clown behavior with Gina. Now, y'all know during the trial, it came out one of the, I think he was one of the assistants, said that he remembered the time when Diddy was throwing apples. This is so goofy. He was throwing apples at Gina. Okay. I know Cassie, they stated, was pretty much jealous because he was fooling around allegedly with Cassie and Gina at the same time. Okay. And so Gina was one of the ones that I guess she engaged in some of this, but she didn't want to talk about it. Okay. Now, ex-girlfriend Gina was supposed to testify against him in this criminal case. But y'all, she mysteriously dropped out days before the trial began. Okay. They were looking for her. She was referred to as victim 3. Okay. Now, this past weekend, she wrote a letter to the judge that's presiding over the Diddy trial, pushing him to release Sean Diddy Combs from jail. Okay. Now, her real name is Virginia Hahn. Okay. I don't know if I'm saying the last name right. It's Huynh, but she goes by Gina. Okay. Now, she was originally a part of the prosecution's case against Diddy, and they were referring to her anonymously as victim 3. But before the trial began, the prosecutors alerted the court that while she was under subpoena to testify, they had lost contact with her and her attorney, and she pretty much did not show up. So I was like, how do you get out of not showing up to court? I thought that if you had a subpoena, you were supposed to show up to court regardless, okay, whether you wanted to or not. But we didn't see her there. Okay, we haven't heard of her being locked up or anything like that. And so on Sunday, in her latest attempt to get Combs released on bail ahead of his sentencing. Now, remember, he's scheduled to be sentenced October the 3rd. Okay, so Combs' defense included this letter from victim 3, who for the first time has identified herself by name. At first, they were just calling her victim 3, but when she wrote the letter, she put her name in it. And so in this letter, Gina wrote to the judge that she does not believe that Combs is a danger to the community, and he is a committed family man who has not been violent in many years. That's a lie. Okay, girl, stop. Okay, stop. Because we already have heard details of when he has been violent. And you are going against what his own defense team has stated. Okay, they have pretty much stated that as well. So it did pretty much, he was violent. So you could wrap that up. Okay. Also, one day later, after that, Judge Arun denied Combs' newest request for release on bail. And I don't know what type of game y'all they're playing, the defense team, because even after it was stated that his defense or his sentencing was going to take place in October, they were supposed to meet like the following week to possibly get the sentencing moved up. Okay. Well, during that particular hearing, the prosecution and the defense team just said, well, forget about it. Okay. And then the next thing we heard was that Diddy was pretty much in therapy. I think they call it therapy or something while he was in jail. Okay, hold on one second, y'all. Okay. So I was like, that is weird behavior. Okay, for her to just come out of nowhere and write this letter. Okay. Now her letter, let's see. One second. Okay. Combs was convicted by the jury last month on 2 charges of transportation to engage in prostitution, but he was acquitted on the more serious charges, which would have put him behind bars for decades or even life, which was the RICO charge, racketeering, conspiracy, and sex trafficking. Okay. Now, in this letter, Gina goes on to say that she has known Combs for years, both professionally and personally. Okay. She acknowledged her relationship with the disgraced mogul, was not always perfect, but he was willing to acknowledge his mistakes and make better decisions in the future. By the time that their relationship ended, he embodied an energy of love, patience, and gentleness that was markedly different from his past behavior. To her knowledge, he has not been violent for many years, and he has been committed to being a father first. She also stated that she was writing because she did not view Mr. Combs as a danger to her or to the community. Now, during the trial, this is the guy, George Kaplan. Okay, he was the one, the former assistant that testified that he once saw Sean throwing apples at Gina at his home in Miami. Okay, but Cassie, which was another one of his former girlfriends, testified that Diddy had been unfaithful to her by dating Gina throughout their 11-year relationship. And yeah, so to me, Gina, stop. Okay, you didn't even show up for court, and now this is given. What were you given to come out of nowhere, out of your hiding, to write a letter? Okay. Diddy is facing new charges. No. He pretty much, Janet is still in jail. The judge denied his $50 million bond request or bail request. And Gina, right before that, had written a letter asking the judge to release him because she hasn't, known him to be violent over many years. Okay. I don't know what many she's talking about, because we've heard of plenty years recently that he was violent. Hey, Rebecca, welcome. Hi, Tammy. So, yeah, it's a no. It didn't work. Girl, show up for court next time. And my thing is this, y'all. This is why I call it clown behavior. If you have endured any type of embarrassment, I don't care if it was just apples thrown at you. We have heard the things that Diddy has pretty much done behind the scenes, a lot of things in court during the trial, and is showing desperation. Some of these women that he has dated they're not ugly women. And it's just so like, I'm so shocked to the level that some of them went, even while hearing this trial, like the different things that they allowed him to do to them, and that they even would keep going back and putting up with it. And now it's giving like y'all are in some type of trance. It's crazy. Is his pardon off the table, just asking for a free You know what? Who knows? Okay. Trump has played around with the idea that he would pardon him, but I don't know. And someone made a post underneath my short, and they said that Diddy must have really pissed somebody off. And I agree because y'all know on these charges, he should have probably been out by now. Okay. With all the pull he seems to have had, they have not let him out. They haven't given him any type of grace. Now the jury did when they didn't find him guilty of RICO, but at the same time, like I said, that's on the prosecution. Okay, I don't think they proved that enough. Hey, Real Talk, No Chaser is in the building. Good morning, Pastor DJ. Tracy is in the building. Welcome. Yes, I do. I do. Thank you for joining today. People will do strange things for money and fame. Open book. Yes, I agree. I agree. It's like they're brainwashed. Okay. It's no way I would have thought about picking up a pen to write a letter or get on a computer and type up a letter on his behalf. Okay. Like, did somebody pay you? I'm just asking, was that on the table? Did someone extend some money? Hey, will you go ahead and write this letter? Because she was hiding at first. So then she just came out of hiding and then writes this letter out of nowhere. Okay, ma'am, have a seat. That is definitely clown behavior. And this week, I'm addressing clown behavior throughout the week. Okay, you're up first, Gina. Dreaming Girl said, Trump said no. Wait a minute. Because he spoke badly about him during the election. Girl, no, I didn't hear that part. Oh my God. I think you can, sis. Hi, Kathy Rose. Welcome. Good morning. Okay, Al B sure needs to give the rest. He's not, though, Kathy Rose. He is on it. Okay. He is definitely on it. He's on a mission. Okay. He's on a mission. So he wants justice for Kim Porter, but I don't know, like, because they did not, and I don't know if it's still on the table that he could testify, because if they appeal this trial, uh it's still possible for them to bring forth some of the witnesses that they did not bring forth, okay, during the original trial. So maybe they're saving that just in case. Yes, I do remember you. Yes, and I thank you for coming over here. Yes, ma'am, I remember you. Okay, so moving on to the recent updates with Al B Sure, because y'all know Al B Sure has still been kind of quiet. It comes and goes. Okay, it comes and goes. And so recently it's coming back out with some new evidence. Okay, right, Janet. We do believe that. Under the 3-letter alphabet. I'm trying to think which 3 letters. Okay, because they were talking about complications from the flu and all of that. It was weird. It came out of nowhere. And Al B Sure has pretty much been speaking out on behalf of uh, of Kim. Now, y'all may have known that, and it's the reason that I want to bring this back out because of this recent email that I'm going to show y'all. It refers back to 2022. And that Al B Sure was speaking out too much about Kim Porter. And there was an order given based off of this email, okay, to pretty much get him quiet. Now, I want us to take it back for a minute, and I want to show a little part of an interview. Oh, okay, got you, Kathy Rose. A little part of an interview that Al B Sure did, and he had a doctor there as well, referring to what had taken place when right before he went into the coma. Okay, he was working on some new music, and out of nowhere, he passed out. The next thing he knows, he's in a hospital in a coma, y'all, for 2 months. He had gotten renal failure, his organs, multiple organs were shut down. Like he was literally at death's door. Okay, I think some people didn't think he was gonna pull through. Okay, and so let me pull up the little snippet. We're not gonna watch the whole interview because it's like 40 something minutes, but I wanted to pull up this interview because it was very touching. Shout out to 979 The Box.
Very specifically participating with the wonderful, wonderful medical professionals at Houston Methodist Hospital. I'm from New York, so coming here, I was actually visiting my dearest friend growing up, Eddie F. Presents, Mr. Edward Farrell, CHCO.
What's up, Eddie F? How you doing?
Yeah, and I was here visiting, and thank goodness, because obviously Houston has some of the best medical care on planet Earth. And one thing led to another. Eddie introduced me to Dr. Kosler. Dr. Kosler was like Beethoven.
I think
kind of
he
put everything
is
together to make sure that my medical care, because I went down so fast.
I think his mic is low. I have mine up all the way.
The best is my doctor now.
But
Number
when
one,
she talks, it gets louder, the doctor.
A black woman
He's talking
did
low.
my surgery, my liver transplant surgery, one of the best in the world, Dr. Constance M. Mobley. MD, PhD, elemental P, QRST. I mean,
good morning.
Good morning.
How you doing?
Y'all hear it better?
I'm doing well. I'm just happy to be here with Alvisha and all of you guys. This is an amazing story to talk about. He's an amazing patient. I can't imagine anyone more grateful, giving back, doing well, thriving. He's an amazing person.
You saw when he was down, when you first saw him and he came into the hospital, what was your first thoughts?
If we don't get to him soon enough, he's going to die.
just,
I mean, he was, I mean, I don't,
This is why we're here, Doc.
he was in multi-system organ failure is what we call it, but his likelihood of surviving was probably less than 10%.
What?
Yeah, we talk about this as far as mortality rates, and he had something called acute on chronic liver failure, ACLF4, and a 28-day mortality rate of upwards of 90%. Most people will die within 28 days.
Wow.
Oof. So imagine, again, being here, blessed, visiting, Eddie F. And, as in tradition, we're doing business and talking about music and things and just life and just going over stuff. And so I happened to go down while we were working on something here. And I didn't know, I didn't know. I was grateful that, you orchestrated putting this together and then getting me to the right places.
I'm just thinking about just reliving when we took the ride over to get you over to the check-in the Methodist. And
I can remember all I saw was 22-inch rims in the side of and I remember being held and lifted into an escalator or something, and I could just see stuff, and then I passed out. I guess I was bleeding everywhere. It was just
So we had to lift him up and put him in my truck and get him over to the check-in at the hospital. And I was on the line with Dr. Kosler, and he basically says, as soon as they register his name in the system, you just call me as soon as he's in. So we got him checked into the system, and I called Dr. Kosler, and he said, and this was like the movies when it's kind of like when you're spinning around, it's just, you don't know. It's like surreal. Talked to Dr. Kosler. He said, I'm on it. Next thing you know, there was a team of medical professionals with a stretcher coming down to get out of the wheelchair.
Because all I remember is looking up and I see security surrounding me, and Eddie put me in the corner in a wheelchair, and I can just remember moving. I looked up and I see Eddie, and he looked at me and says, "You're right." I said, I don't think so.
Oh my God.
So at that point, I really felt like
Losing to last week's leftovers. Can't escape the
it was a wrap, for lack of a better term.
Doctor, what leads to a condition like this?
So, if there's any underlying liver failure or liver disease from multiple causes, it could be from, then any other inciting event can make you get sicker quicker. So, I know he had some other things going on and hadn't been feeling well, and that's enough to make his liver then completely decompensate. And so it stops carrying out the functions that it usually does. So your blood doesn't clot and you bleed. You can go into respiratory failure. Your heart doesn't function well. You can't think clearly, something called hepatic encephalopathy, where you're just very confused. Sometimes you can't talk clearly, sound very almost like you're having like a stroke or something like that. And so when he arrived at the hospital, Dr. Koso actually called me. We work very closely with him with a lot of patients. And so he called me and said, we have this patient who's really sick. I think he's going to need a liver transplant. So when he came to us, we went through an emergent review board, which we have to do for all patients who are listed for liver transplant. We got him listed and then waited for an organ to arrive for him. But, during that time, he was on as much support as you can be on in the ICU. He was on a ventilator to control his breathing.
38 days.
But he had really bad lung function. He had something called ARDS, or acute respiratory distress syndrome, which in and of itself, if a patient has that alone, carries up to, as severe as he had severe ARDS, can carry up to a 50% mortality rate. On top of that, he was in renal failure.
Complete organ failure, right?
Yeah, complete organ failure. His heart wasn't working. He was on medications to keep his blood pressure up and his heart beating.
Right.
He was bleeding. He got multiple transfusions of blood. He had infections that we were fighting on powerful antibiotics, everything.
So there was some shenanigans going on.
Yeah.
We're gonna leave.
So I wanted to share, because I had never seen a particular video with the degree of where his body was and when he went through this situation in 2022. Okay. He was almost out of here. Like Kathy Rose said, pretty much his soul was ready to leave his body. Everything started shutting down. He just talked about he was bleeding blood everywhere. And it hit him, he said, out of nowhere. He's working in the studio on some music. Okay. Now, the first thing, and I'm going to put this email up, the picture of his post. Now, y'all, this post got to be quick. They have been removing this post around the internet. Okay. It was put up yesterday. And thank the Lord for quick hands. People screenshotting it because it's gone. Okay, in a lot of places. Hi, Susan, welcome. It's gone. Okay, now you probably won't be able to really see it, but I'm going to read it to you because I know it's a little blurry and small. Okay, so let me read what it says. Pastor DJ said, let's not forget that just about every ritual that they do that's designed to snatch your soul. Okay, right, because hey, we're already seeing that with the Malcolm Jamal Warner situation. Okay, we're going to get into y'all. Woo! Y'all, I've been sitting on some stuff with this for the past couple of weeks, but I see, the conversation is starting to be had, but I have some extra research and facts that I found about some things. Okay, and we're going to talk about this evening on this lawsuit with Malcolm Jamal Warner's baby's mother, because, hey, it's alleged that they're not even married. Okay, that opens up a whole other can of worms, but we're going to get into that this evening. All right, so let me read for y'all what this says. This is from the official Al B page, okay, which is no longer there, but it states diabolical Remember when I stated there was the most expensive PR media campaign initiated to conceal evidence, discredit, silence, and drag me through the national media when I exposed all of this deplorable activity and then stood 10 toes down about Kimberly's alleged murder? Well, Al B sure is just looking for attention, clout chasing, etc. Incorrect. I didn't ask to be dragged into any of this depravity, be gang stalked, and he put in parentheses, and you have no idea what else. I've been recovering from a coma in 2022, multi-system organ failure, near death, medical crises, and escaped multiple attempts to unalive me. Most importantly, and as God is my witness, I will not stop until there is justice for Kim Porter. Even with a corporation receiving massive retainers per month for several years to do so, the approximate calculation is in excess of 8 million in invoices since 2015 for their services. When a global strategy firm initiates a forensic scrub to wipe the internet clean of any media linking them as the crisis management team behind protecting Sean Combs from his accusers, assault victims, NDAs, and Revolt TV's legal battles since engaging in 2015, thinking they permanently sealed court documents and buried subpoenaed emails like this one. And I'm going to show y'all the email and more. My team has recovered. So his team now got access to one of the emails that they had subpoenaed, but they put under seal, and they now recovered that email. Okay. He states, remember, God don't like ugly, and he ain't too crazy about pretty either. I didn't return from death to lay down and be silent. Post coma, I was minding my business, living a clean and healthy lifestyle, physical therapy, daily prayer, meditation, realigning with my seeds, recovering a few million owed me in unpaid royalties, and publishing for my 30 plus years of creative work and advocating in Congress for proper health care in our communities. Focused only to deal with this continuous corrupt BS from people working overtime to destroy me because of their own darkness. Oh, I almost forgot. The one item on Trump's agenda that seems to be accurate in this case, the fake news. As you see here, it can be paid for. Let's investigate which 27 news outlets took payments to scrub hashtag Kim Porter from their news cycle. Did the Inquirer ever get their 50,000 to shut the front door on Al B? Sure. Inquiring minds want to know. Okay. Now, let me show y'all the email. Let's see. So, in other words, Diddy has cleared. Yes. Okay. Allegedly. Okay. Let me pull up this email. All right. Let me move this and I'm going to read it also. Okay. Now, I think they had to kind of on the from it too. That you know how you have to mess up the letters and so you don't expose all of the to and from, but it's clearly from someone at actumllc.com to y'all know who your boy at badboyent.com. Okay. And the subject matter said Kim Porter media blackout. Okay. So let me read for y'all what that says. It says, per our contract, we've suppressed Porter death rumors in 27 outlets. Okay. And y'all, it made me think about something as well. This is probably not the only story that the outlets kind of can get paid for removing certain things. Even with the Malcolm Jamal Warner situation, they don't want the truth to come out about that as well. Okay, and for the right price, people know which stories to put out and which ones to not put out. Okay, and then they put it here that the Inquirer is holding for 50K, $50,000. So they're holding out till they get their 50,000 allegedly. And they said confirm wire question mark. So they're trying to confirm if that wire was sent over to the Inquirer. Okay. And the source of this was Jane Doe versus Combs. Okay. It was sealed but obtained by the Rolling Stone. Also, a memo, ACTA memo to Combs in 2022. Pay attention to the year. And it was a reason I brought up Albie Shore's coma. It took place in the summer of 2022. This says urgent. Albie Shore is escalating Porter claims. Execute. Phase 3. Discredit via mental health framing. Leak Rolling Stone. Do y'all peep the play? Okay. I want y'all to peep the play. Good morning, Susan. Did I speak to you? My thing is this. When we have people that are speaking out on topics, and even in this particular area, people were talking about Kim Porter's death was not what it was claimed to have been. The first thing the media will make people do is look crazy. Okay, that they don't know what they're talking about. Oh, it's just a conspiracy theory. Trying to look at Kanye. Okay, Kanye was out. Now, I do believe Kanye does need some therapy, but there are some things that Kanye is speaking facts about. Okay, everybody's saying, "Oh, he's just crazy. You don't know what he's talking about." And there's some others out here, Cat Williams. People were calling him crazy too. He did that interview with Shannon Sharp. And y'all, if anything, it redeemed that Cat Williams is not crazy. Okay, because that was the first thing everyone wanted to say prior to us seeing a lot of the stuff coming true that he talked about. Okay, so this is also evidence that people will try to make you look crazy if they feel like they're about to be exposed or that something is exposed. They have to get the media on board with the narratives that they want put out. Okay, and if people are talking about certain things that they don't want out there, well, let's take that down. We don't want that in the news. Cat Williams, yep, Jaguar Wright, Kanye West, Monique, Wendy Williams. Okay, it's a lot of people that, and like I said, not saying that everything that these people are talking about is factual, but I do believe there is some truth to some of the things that they discuss. They just don't want people believing it. If they can get you to not believe it, then hey, they won't believe them anyways. But the whole time telling the truth. Okay, so this here, I don't even know what to say. It's sad. Excuse me. That when the people are trying to get to the bottom of what really happened, then everything's shut down. But now look at what we have now. Diddy is now, just went through a trial. Okay. If things had been looked into back then, would it have gotten worse? See, it's been so much stuff that could have been looked into instead of all this baby oil. It's so much stuff that could have been looked into that they never looked into. And we probably wouldn't be where we are today with all of this. Yes, Orlando Brown, mostly. That's the name I was trying to think of. Yes, him too. A lot of these people, and everyone starts chalking it up as, oh, they're just crazy. They don't know what they're talking about. That's what we start going with it. Even with Jaguar Wright, I was like, well, let me at least listen to what the lady is saying. You know, like I'm not one to just go with the crowd. I have my own mind and I'm an independent thinker. If something sounds off to me, I discount it as okay, I'm gonna chalk that up. But if there has been some evidence or a pattern or proof of something, I think about it a little longer. Okay. But this in itself shows that there's obviously cover-ups in certain places, you know, where they try to cover certain things up and they don't want it out. And then it shows to the extent that they are willing to go to pay. Okay. We were even talking about with the Malcolm Jamal Warner case, how y'all know TMZ is everywhere. They're everywhere. They even caught the photo of him leaving, right? Video, a little short video. And we still don't know who took that picture. Okay. And who did the little video. Because it looks like they were hiding to do it. Usually TMZ all up in the people's faces. Hey, how you doing? Da, 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 da. Someone sent that, it looked like, to TMZ. Okay. Now, you would think that y'all got him going out, but no one caught him coming back. No one knows. Y'all haven't spoken on, oh, his body has arrived back. Y'all haven't spoken on, we found out that Malcolm Jamal Warner's funeral is this date. Y'all got a phone call and stated that the wife was here in the U.S. when she really wasn't. Who set that up? When she was still over there, according to the police, she was still there giving testimony. Okay. So it shows that for the right price, it seems as though the media can be bought. This is why we have to be careful on putting all of our hope and all of our faith, I should say, into certain social media outlets or certain web pages. Oh, they always telling the truth, or they are, well, for the right price, it looks like they could be bought. Okay, like he said, he is demanding now an investigation into not only Kim Porter's death, but also the social media or these media outlets, 27 media outlets that wanted to suppress it. Okay. He has also alleged that Diddy, excuse me, may be responsible for his 2022 coma. Okay. Let's see. So he is demanding an investigation into her passing, okay, insinuating that Diddy, allegedly has something to do with it. And then also he's accusing Diddy and his PR team of suppressing stories about Kim Porter's death and engaging in a smear campaign against him, okay, and his mental health issues. And so now he is including this evidence, okay, for them to really look into it. So it has not been confirmed as true, but it is a starting place. And we're going to see where this part goes, because this even confirms some things that he stated before. Okay. Hi, Brittany. Welcome. She said, I said that P. Diddy had something to do with K. Porter passing away. Right. A lot of people have speculated that. And notice that people get quiet. Even if we've had suspicions of certain things, like with Whitney Houston, Twitch and Kim Porter and many others on how they passed away. Notice after people have brought questions and kind of talked about it, it eventually goes away. Okay. But with Al B, sure, he has not gone away. He continues to fight for justice for Kim Porter. Okay. And keeps this out there. And I also heard from Paperwork Party, I didn't know this, but he said that allegedly they've reopened Whitney Houston, an investigation into her death. They reopened the case. Okay. I was like, wait a second. Wow. And really they need to look into Twitch's death as well and what happened with his situation. Because after his wife came out with that book, you can clearly see that there was some type of strategy to make him look a certain type of way, even in his death. And the last that I had heard, his mom was trying to take her to court about that book. Because how are you going to say that that man had all these different types of drugs in a box in the closet, but when they did the toxicology report, there were no drugs or alcohol in his system? Okay, so what are you trying to do, man? Kathy Rose said you have to remember people are silent because they don't want to be exposed because they are infected after attending the freak-offs. Yes, now that part I do agree. A lot of those people, they're with those freak-offs. And see, that was the thing. Even during the trial, I thought we were going to, what? Okay, yeah, this just coming to me. Thank you, Kathy Rose. Now, what happened with the list? Okay, remember before the trial, all of this stuff was being told. Oh, there's a list. There's all this video of different celebrities that were there at these freak-offs. There's this list of celebrities. There were all the, the sex trafficking. They made us think like it was kids that were being trafficked, young girls, and all this different stuff. Whatever happened to all of that evidence and things during the trial? We just heard from a few of his girlfriends about some of the freaky stuff that they did, okay, and them bringing their hands was more in it than his. Okay, we didn't hear about any of the other stuff that they were sharing prior to the trial. Do y'all think that maybe Diddy does some type of ritual to be able to take these women out of a good relationship to be with him and do his will? Let's see. Well, Cassie, I don't think so. Because Cassie seems like she was with someone, but I think she was looking for the highest bidder. Okay, in the beginning. In the beginning, who was gonna make her dreams come true? Okay, she was already with the rich guy. He had plenty of money. But Diddy, I guess, is the producer, and she wanted her music out there, so she went with him. Okay, and then she was about to go with Kid Cudi too, but that she got a little scared of Diddy. She backtracked. The other girl, 50 Cent's ex-wife, or I think girlfriend, I don't think he had married her. She was already out of a relationship, I think, when she got with him. And yeah, Gina, I don't know too much about her. But no, I don't think so. It seems like these women were into him, but at the same time, it's like they are just under this. They're hypnotized. Same as with the girls with R. Kelly. It's like they have a hold over some of these women. So I get that part of what you're saying, Pastor DJ. I get that part. Yeah, they have a hold over these women. Hi, Janine. I know they said everything. Right. They said everything. What happens to that? Rebecca said Malcolm's wife wasn't going to leave without talking to those people. Right. Exactly. She wanted to make sure she told from her perspective what happened. Okay. They're using that information to bring the charges. Well, maybe that's what they're waiting on. Hey, Chelsky, good morning. Welcome. The feds did not bring forward the evidence, and they're saying him being locked up. At one point, they heard him in his cell talking to himself, so he could have been doing a ritual while locked up. Ooh, yeah, he probably is talking to himself. He probably got all those spirits, the people that oh my God, the people that he was, hey, allegedly behind their debts, okay, probably speaking to him, because I can think of 3, 4 really that I've heard allegedly, okay. They probably in there. I'm telling you, how do you live with yourself? Like that would be a guilty conscience, and you in a jail cell and you don't know what spirit's talking to him and all of that. Like, the feds did not bring forward the evidence, and they saying he'll be okay. I read that one. Okay, you can't put anything past it. Right? Exactly. I don't put anything past none of these people, and especially when you have a lot of money and stuff like that. I don't put anything past them. Like the Gina girl, it wasn't a coincidence that she all of a sudden wanted to write a letter to the judge. That's not a coincidence. Oh, let me come out of hiding and write a letter. Girl, you didn't even come to the court case, okay, during the trial. You didn't even come on your day. You went into hiding. So now all of a sudden you want him out? For what? Why are you so in a rush for him to get out anyways? If he did all of this stuff, like, it's crazy. It seemed like the victims were helping the defense team after a while. Every time they would question him, oh, but I would work for him again. Like the assistants would work for him again. Then they were saying the girls are like, oh, but I loved him and all of this. So him kicking you, pulling you, spitting on you, all of that is not love. Hitting you with apples. I mean, having X with you and another person all the time. Like, come on. That's crazy. How in the world they're bringing up all the stuff that he was not charged with to keep him in jail? Right. and like someone said, who in the world did he pee off? Okay. Somebody really upset with him and trying to keep him in there. You would have thought this is the guy who thought he was untouchable. Okay. That he would have been found innocent, that he would have gotten out then. Okay, even if it was on bail. But the 2 things he was found guilty on. I'm thinking, oh, they're gonna give him bail. No, they didn't even give him bail. He's been in jail almost a year. It will be a year, I believe, in October, either October or November. It will be a year, time served. Okay, for a year. I'm thinking, okay, well, they're requesting bail, the sentencing to be moved up. So I was thinking they were going to move that up, but then that went away. They didn't even do that. So now he's getting these letters again. Baby, the judge is still saying no. You mean they can't buy a judge off? It's like, wait a minute, this not working in his favor. Okay, like we thought it would have. For real, it really did seem as if they were working for the defense. Exactly, Charlotte. That's what I'm saying. It's her every time the prosecution would question them, and I'm like, yes, they did a good job. Soon as the defense team came up to ask a question, here they go. It started being knock, knock, knock. Now, I will say Cassie, for the most part, she stood on business when it came to the defense team. But it seemed like everyone else, from the assistants to the girls he dated, all of them turned to mush as soon as the defense team. And really, I think Diddy was telling the defense team, in my opinion, what he knows these people. Okay, he knows their weaknesses and all of that. So he knew what to tell them to get at those people on that stand. Okay, and so I think the defense team played into that, and they really didn't have to go too deep with some of them because the people started turning too much. And now here we are. The one that didn't show up, she wants to write a lip. So now I'm wondering, where does this play, these emails, this email, where would this play a part in all of this? If they do call up Al B, which he was a tentative witness, if they call him up and they put this out here, will they ever open up an investigation into Kim Porter's death? Okay, because I mean, the proof is all out there that something was not right with that. If y'all think about it, and I don't know how many of y'all know, after Kim Porter passed away, there was a guy standing around, okay? He was caught in some of the photos, and I was watching a documentary, and I think this is where I learned about this. There was a guy that stands around outside her house, right? Which is the same. If y'all know his name, y'all put it in the chat. I forgot his name. Which is the same guy that was the bodyguard to Justin Bieber, which is the same guy that is now dating Kris Jenner. He used to work with Diddy. Okay? He used to help Diddy's security team. But then, y'all, he started going out like he was watching Justin Bieber and being his security and keeping an eye on him when he would go on tour. Why was that guy, after Diddy and Kim Porter were no longer together, why was that man standing around outside her house? I just want to know, what was that about? Shouldn't you have been with Diddy or his people somewhere? Why are you all at her house? That was suspect to me. What is this? Let me see what this man's name was. Because I found that odd. Corey Gamble. Let me see if that was the same security. I think that's his name. Let's see. Yeah. That was him. So why? Yes, and he was looking suspect standing out there. No, not D-Rock, Corey Gamble. Okay. I believe he knows something. I believe he knows something, in my opinion. Okay. But the connection. Okay, so he was supposedly watching Justin Bieber, and now he is dating Kris Jenner, the Kardashians' mom. It's so weird. But you were standing out there, and he was caught in one of the photos. He was standing outside of Kim Porter's house. Wow. You know, so I've always believed that something was up with her death, how it came out of nowhere. I'm going to be honest. He looked very suspicious in those pics. Okay, so you saw it. Right. You saw that. It was weird. And so hopefully, you know, this will be taken seriously. I commend Al B because he is taking a chance on keeping this going with his life. Okay, I pray God cover him because, hey, you're going up against the big boys. Okay, the people don't want to find out certain things. I know Gene Deal has been speaking up. He's talked about even the Biggie situation and what happened, you know, surrounding that. It was very suspect. Okay, Diddy's name came up with the Tupac situation. These are the things no one is looking into. We tired of hearing about the baby oil. Okay, we tired of hearing about it. We don't care about that. The more serious business needs to be these cases. And so with this new evidence that's, I guess, was leaked because it was supposed to have been sealed. I don't know. Will it just go away like all the other times? Or will he actually get somewhere with getting an investigation, regarding this? They need to find out what actually happened to these celebrities that passed away. Right, Brittany, I agree. Oh, yeah, my husband said that too. Craig Mack, Heavy D. Yes. Yes. I forgot about those. He mentioned those too. Well, one day we were talking about that, like the list of celebrities that's questionable that he may have been somehow involved. Because y'all got to understand too, as we could see, even with this trial, he does a great job, it seems, with keeping his hands clean. Okay. It seems as though he has other people around that would allegedly get involved with helping him do some of this. Okay. Even with the girls, they were the ones securing the ex-workers, going to get rugs and all of that for him. So we're probably not going to have like putting him in place during these orders where he's there doing it. Okay. By his own hands. But who is the mastermind, the puppet master behind it? Because they're not going to definitely find him with nothing in his hand, him being on the scene, or none of that. No. But who was behind it? That's probably what they need to look into. Okay. He was very manipulative. Yeah. I think Craig Mack will stand out the most. He said a lot before he passed away. Right, Kathy Rose. Right. Exactly. And you know what? Another person I'm surprised and I'm glad, got covered is Mace. Okay, Mace got out of there, and Mace probably knows some stuff too. But he got up out of there, He was speaking up at one point. But hey, he kind of I guess as long as you don't really talk about it too much, he'll leave you alone. But Mace doesn't really talk about it too much anymore. But he got out of there. But it's a lot of people he has probably done dirty. So I feel no sense of urgency for him to get out of jail. No sympathy or nothing. Nothing. Justice for all of these people. If anything, I'm hoping that the judge gives the max that he's allowed to do. Okay, on it. Whatever the max is for that particular thing, go ahead and give it to him. Okay, I don't care. It's crazy, the stuff that he's probably gotten away with. Let that be for that. Now, I know he can't give him life or nothing like that. But hey, if the max is 5 years, go ahead and hit that 5. Time served 1, you got 4 more. Okay, I think y'all, he just thought he was going to be out by now. Okay, how dare them keep not the diddler in jail? Yeah, 5 years can go by fast. But it can also go by slow if you're used to getting your way and not having to pay any consequences. That can go by really slow. Especially if they caught him in jail talking to himself. I don't know how true that is, but hey, it doesn't surprise me. He's not used to sitting anything out or suffering any consequences. He's not used to that. He's used to getting away with stuff. So this is probably the first time he's actually had to be in there this long and to have to pay the price for something. Even in this may be a little lesson for him. And I do believe that if he gets out, I do believe he's a flight risk. I don't care what they say. That man is not going to want to go back to jail. Okay, if they let him out and they say that, okay, you have to come back and serve 2 more years or whatever, he is going to go where Russell Simmons is. He's going to go over there. Okay, Y'all see, Russell has not been back, knowing that he has cases waiting for him. He has not been back. And I believe Diddy will go right on over there and never come back over here if they let him out of jail. And that's why I feel that they have not. That's another reason why. Is they probably feel that he may try to take off, get around the system. Look at how I've never seen a person like to the point of thinking that they are powerful try to talk to the judge by himself. He thought that he could ask in front of the public, can I talk to you for a second? This is not outside. He wanted to talk to the judge by himself. So you could try to persuade him. So you can try to pay him off for what? Why you want to talk to the judge by himself? He don't talk to y'all by yourself. Talk to your lawyers. Yes, he is dangerous and can't be trusted. Yeah, I wouldn't trust him. I think he would leave. I don't care what they say. They could probably get a fake passport, get on his private jet somewhere and head out. He would not come back. Okay. He doesn't want to have to go through anything. Yeah, very entitled. Even in that, he was acting very entitled. Can I talk to the judge? No, you cannot. This is not outside of the real world. Okay? We're not in the this is court. So they'll talk to your lawyer. Right, Brittany. Yeah. So yeah, we'll see y'all where this goes. I don't know if and when people will take Al B seriously and really look into this. I really want them to. This new information is very telling, and this is very telling. I mean, even besides the Kim Porter, her death, this is very telling on how these media outlets operate. Okay, and for the right price, what they are capable of doing, allegedly, or not doing, or taking out or taking away, removing from. That's why I think the Twitch thing went away, because everywhere, y'all, people were saying Twitch committed, was, unalived himself. People were underneath the comments. No one believed it. It was very few that believed it, but a lot of the posts that I went under, a lot of people did not believe it. And then out of nowhere, y'all, you started seeing it gone. Nobody was talking about it anymore. No one. Until what brought it back up was when his wife came out with this book recently. Okay? She recently came out with the book. And that's when it was brought up again. And Ellen, she did her one post, that video where she was crying, and she never talked about it again. She was out of there. Yeah, I believe so. Because, I mean, even some of her actions after, right before he passed away, or right before they found out, some of her actions were questionable. It's weird. Very weird. But rest in peace, Kim Porter. Justice for her. Y'all praying that Al B is covered, and that we'll get somewhere with this. We'll see. I'll continue to keep y'all updated on it. But I woke up to this and I was like, wow, this is interesting. It really is. Also, y'all, make sure you hit the like. That is for free. If you would like to support the channel, here are various ways that you are able to support. Buying a coffee. Also, get your memberships. There are some things that I share with the members that I don't share here publicly, or they have early access to some things. And then my Cash App is on the screen, and the coffee link is pinned at the top. But I appreciate each of you all for joining. Brittany said I saw her in a different light, open book. her true colors came out. Twitch is swipe. Oh yes, definitely when she did that book. But I'm gonna look into that. I want to do an update about that because the last that I heard was his mother was taking her to court over that book because there was some things stated that were untrue. Okay, so we're going to look into that. But y'all, thank y'all so much for joining. I hope each and every one of you have a wonderful day. Make sure you set your notifications. I think I'm going to go live with some Malcolm Jamal Warner updates a little later. So make sure you have your notifications set. But y'all have a great day. And until next time, be blessed.
The open book, if you felt that heat, like share and stay locked in. Another chapter done, but we far from finished. Truth on the mic, yeah, we handle business. Real talk, no fluff, just facts and fire. From the book to the block, we taking it higher. The open book, every voice matters, every lie shatters. Catch you next page.